Google's going to recommend that you target people in regularly and or who have shown interest in your target locations. Now, this was perfect until they said this part right here. Giving off compassionate energy to where the consumer feels safe and they want to choose you because they trust you. Hey guys, my name is Jack. I'm with Nyan Solutions. We're a digital marketing agency that specializes in generating leads for plastic surgeons. In this video, I'm going to go over how to set up a whole campaign so you can start generating leads yourself. In this video, there's two things I'm not going to go over. There's going to be landing pages, which are very important. I'm just not going to go over due to time, and then also conversion tracking. And they're kind of compared with landing pages. So those two things I'm gonna have a separate video on. I will post it later today that you guys can go look at that, but that's not gonna be what this video is about. So let's get started. You're gonna make a Google Ads account. I already had a video on this. I will link it above on how to set up your Google Ads account so you can actually create a campaign. But once you guys have that, let's start to build a new campaign. So go to campaigns right here, click new campaign, and let's get started. Just a lot of questions and then building out your first ad group and keywords, but I'll go through it all and try to explain to the best of my knowledge. I am certified in Google search, so I just want to let you guys know that I do have some knowledge on this as well. We do run campaigns like this for plastic surgeons all across the country. So for this section, obviously you're generating leads, so you can click leads. What this does is just tells Google's your objective. So it kind of summarizes stuff on how it wants to actually generate what you are asking for. For example, if you wanted to create a campaign without a Google's audience, you could still generate leads. You would just go through a different process. So what we're going to do here today is leads. So we're going to click leads. Now these, you don't have to have these. This actually only pops up for me since I have another campaign with this, but you won't have these. It's just you're gonna click continue, and then you'll click search. So what I specialize in, what my agency is search. Search is the highest intent, in my opinion. You're gonna pay the most for the leads, but the leads are people searching exactly for what your business offers. So it would be, for example, if someone searched plastic surgeon near me and you had that as a keyword and your ads were in there, you would pop up, and that's just the highest intent keyword that we have seen, just because they are looking for someone near them. They want it now, so that's just my opinion with search. I find it with just the most high intent. Yes, you're going to pay a lot, but I'd rather pay for the quality of leads. With Performance Max, we have seen results. It's just there's a lot more follow-up process and touch points with the leads that you have to do in order to actually make a sale. And we just found search is a lot higher quality. So we always use search. Now with this part, I don't click this. You guys can do what you would like, but I just wait. You can fill this all out once you finish it, and then you actually do it to what you would like your campaign to be. So I don't fill any of this out. I just continue on my way. Let's name this surgeon. I have one already, so just name it plastic surgeon campaign. Now bidding. What we always do is maximize clicks. There's a lot of different things out there. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm going to tell you why I use maximize clicks. We want to gather as much data as fast as possible so we can adjust over time. Now, the easiest way to do that is maximize clicks. You're just driving the most amount of traffic to your ads, and giving Google permission to bid for those keywords is just so prime, because you're coming up to all the search results that you want, and you don't have to manual bid per keyword to what position you want to be and where you actually want to show up. So we use maximize clicks. It just drives the most amount of traffic so we can gather data and then over time optimize. We do switch to target CPA after a couple months. Unless maximize clicks is still performing very well, but after a couple months, we usually switch to target CPA to try to get that conversion cost down. But right now, we always just do maximize clicks, and you always want to maximum cost per click bid limit. Now, I will tell you guys how to figure this out. This will be after we go through all these steps, but I'll for sure show you guys how to fill this out. For now, I just put $1, but it's very important that you do that. If you don't, Google will bid as much as it wants to fill that first position. So campaign settings. This is very important. You want to be on the search network, but I personally never allow my campaigns to go on Google Search Partners. It's just not as high quality intent leads. This is YouTube. This is partners that with Google that try to expand the search volume, but they're just not on Google. And Google is just very high intent. And I liked my leads to come for people exactly searching on Google and my ads that are on Google. So I always turn off search network. If there's not enough search volume in your market, you can definitely test this and see if it can benefit you, but we just don't use this at all. And then display as well. We never use display. It shows up on the side. It's not as high intent. You're going to pay less per clicks, but it's just, as I said, it's not high intent. So locations. This part's very important. We always obviously put in you can do a location, you can do a radius. You can do a radius, or you can do a advanced search. So for example, I'm in Sacramento. I would do Sacramento. Now, what you can do is locations in bulk, but what I found is that sometimes it just misses what I'm actually searching for. For example, if I put Sacramento in here, this would do Sacramento County, and it would do parts that I don't actually want. So I just do it manually, and it also shows the map, so it's very helpful. But location-wise, it's pretty simple. You mark where you want. So I would do Rancho, Carmichael, Fair Oaks, Citrus, and you definitely want to have a large enough population so you're actually getting search volume, but at the same time, you don't want to target places that you know are low converting. And I'll show you guys how to see this once you gather data. But for now, we just do, what would I do? I would do all these surrounding cities. You don't want to go too far to the point where if someone shows up on your ad and it's like 60 miles away, you might lose that lead just because of how far you are. But you can test this, and it's pretty straightforward. Where do you want to target? And then for excluding, this is also very important. For example, say I wanted to target Roseville, but I didn't want to target Rockland. I would come here and I would go Rockland and I would click exclude. So now leads that are in Rockland that might be able to funnel through and I don't want are not going to. So what I do is I create a perimeter around all the areas that I don't want with just excluding, just to try to narrow down those clicks that fall through the funnel. But that's just what I do. You guys can do what you'd like. That's just what I've seen good results with. Now, location options. This is very, very important. So target. Who do you want to target? Google's going to recommend that you target people in regularly or who have shown interest in your target locations. Now, this was perfect until they said this part right here. Who've shown interest in your target locations. The only niche we've seen this actually perform well is real estate agents, home buyers, home sellers, wholesalers, stuff like this. You don't want someone who's shown interest in your location because it could be in a whole different city. A whole different city and hundreds of miles away, and then you pop up and you're like, why is this ad showing up to me? So you just wasted a click. You always want to target people in or regularly in your target locations. It's just what you do. This saves you a lot of clicks, unuseful clicks at that. Now here, exclude. You can exclude people in your exclude locations. Yep, you can do that. Languages, if you just want to target English, we always just target English. Audience segments, we don't use audiences, mainly just because our keywords are actually what drive the volume. We don't need audiences. If we see that audiences could benefit us, we do split test sometimes. However, most cases, keywords just do us fine. So you can learn more about audiences. I'm not going to go in audiences, but we personally rarely use them. More settings, ad rotation. So this is what ads are going to do. It's responsive search ad. So you will create your ads, and Google is going to take all your headlines and your descriptions. Oh, I'm sorry, the audience just popped up. It's going to take your headlines and descriptions and cycle through them and create the best 3, and it's just going to show these. But what this does also is it optimizes, it prefers best performing ads. So it's like responsive search ads. It just goes through them all and then puts out the best and spits out the best one. And that's what it starts, performing and using the most. So that's that. More settings. You can do your start and end date. Say you wanted to just test a month. You could do a month. Ad schedule. Ad schedule is very important. You don't want to, it may seem like you want to do it 24/7 to gather as many leads as possible. However, what I recommend is if someone can't answer the phone or can't answer the lead submission, do not be running your ads. You're just going to have a lower chance of that conversion. And sometimes these conversions are very expensive, and you don't want to be wasting money on someone who is just filling out a lead submission form for 20 companies at 11 o'clock at night. So we just say do it when someone can answer the phone or a lead submission. Campaign URL options. For this part, we don't use this. Dynamic search ads. So what dynamic search ads are is it will take URLs from your website. You will link your website and it will send people who are searching for something to a specific website. So if you don't have an optimized website already, this is off the table for you. We don't even use this even if they do have an optimized website. We just haven't seen the best results with dynamic search ads. But that's for that part. Now this is the actually bread and butter. So you got your keywords. I'm going to go into how to find high intent keywords. However, that's going to be after we finish this. It's going to be in tools and settings and keyword planner. But for now, you can just put in a couple keywords. If you have a nice website, optimized website, you can scan it and it will just spit out relevant keywords that should be in here. Actually, it'll spit out all of them. So you don't want to be using all of them, but it'll just spit out keywords that you can actually use. For now, I'm just going to come into this section and click plastic surgeon. It will just give me relevant keywords that are based around plastic surgeon, as you can see. And all of these are not high intent. You don't want to be using all of these. This is just an example. For example, affordable you don't want to be using. Even if you are affordable, it just attracts price shoppers. But that's keywords. So I'll go more into this. Like I said, I'll show you how to find high intent, but that's going to be after this. So now let's get into ads. Number one, you have to fill out your URL. This just suggests headlines and descriptions. It's not going to pop up anywhere unless you want it to. You want to send traffic to here, you can put it in the pathway right here, display path. And what I usually do here is some people don't fill it out. However, you always want to fill everything out that Google offers. So what I always do is I just fill it out with wherever the geo is, and then with plastic surgeon. It just makes it really nice right here. So I see Sacramento plastic surgeon, and just get that extra leeway, But my final URL, I don't put in right now because you selected phone calls. This is because I selected my other campaign as a phone call. You won't have this, but what you'll have is headlines. So the number one thing to think about is, I will go over this, but your ad groups are contain your ads and your keywords. Now, specific ad groups are going to have specific keywords and specific ads. So think of it like this way. An ad group would be a plastic surgeon, okay? Your ads for that ad group would be about plastic surgeon, not about services, about plastic surgeon. And then your keywords would be plastic surgeon. So everything is categorized. So when someone searches for plastic surgeon, the ads are labeled plastic surgeon. So it's so relevant to what they're searching for, and you're going to get a very low cost conversion because people are just clicking on it and you're converting at a high rate because they're exactly what they're looking for, if that makes sense. If you had, for example, a service in here and then someone searched plastic surgeon, it just wouldn't convert as well because it's not exactly what they're looking for, if that makes sense. And I'll pop up a diagram right here that will show how it categorizes ad groups, ads, and then keywords. I hope that helps. But let's get into headlines. What I usually do for these, I wrote some down just so We could save some time. This is some that I use. I use #1 rated plastic surgeons. I think I spelled that wrong. This really helps. You want to use as much as you can to gather leeway. So for example, #1, a lot of people don't use that. It just stands out a little bit more than other ads are showing up. So another one of this would be, if you offer free consultations, you don't have to do this, but this helps a lot. Just the percentage, it stands out a little more. And then the #1 thing is you always want to capitalize headlines. Always capitalize headlines. It just stands out more. Let's do another one. Non-invasive methods. This could also be in your descriptions. However, sometimes I use this. Now, this is a great 3-step for 3 headlines for a plastic surgeon ad group. Not necessarily non-invasive methods. You could put something else in here, but these 2 are really good just for the plastic surgeon ad group. Remember, you want to have your headlines and your ads based on your ad group and keywords. So that's ads. It's going to come descriptions. Some things that we say are natural looking results that transform your confidence. Now, you always want to fill this out 90-90. You want to have as much space taken up on Google as possible. They usually don't show the second head or the description. Sometimes they will, mainly on desktop, but most of the time your description #2 is not going to show up as well as all your headlines. But you want to fill out as much as possible. So if you can get these to 30, great. But the next one would be trusted surgeons truly care. I'm not going to say all the ones that we use. These are just some, and I'm not going to fill them out, but you definitely want to fill them out to 90. It just helps. You want to have as much real estate taken up on Google as possible, so you have the most amount of chance of being seen. But that's descriptions and headlines. The next thing is site links. Very important. Ad extensions. So what ad extensions are is I'll pop up a screenshot right here. There's a couple. There's site links. There's structured snippets. There is call outs. There's a lot of different ones. The main ones that we use are site links, and then call extensions as well. We've tested call extensions. They do perform well, but site links are the main. So what site links are is it will pop up under your ad. So right here, it's going to pop up on desktop. Sometimes it goes boom, 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 boom. So it's 2 on each side. But for mobile, it pops up like this. Now, what you want to have on this is things that are based around your ads and your ad groups and your keywords, but mainly you just want to add more information. So for a plastic surgeon ad group, I usually do, let's see what I do. Client testimonials. Now you'd explain this, and then this is where you'd send the page to. If you have different pages on your website, you could send them to this. We also use landing pages for this, but site link text, we could use surgeons, view our surgeons. You want to have, the main thing is you want to brand well. You want to feel safe. With plastic surgery, it really just compels. Good ad copy is considered compelling if you are branding yourself well, if you are giving off compassionate energy to where the consumer feels safe and they want to choose you because they trust you. So that we use surgeons, and then also another one is really good. It's services or procedures. This just really allows them to click and view all the procedures that they have or what you offer, and it just helps with getting them to a landing page or website. But that's site links. There's a lot of different ones. You can test them all. We've tested a lot, but we really just like site links and call extensions. Now budget. Budget's very important. If you spend too less, you're just going to be wasting your ad spend because you're not going to be showing up for where you want to be. And spending too much is not really a problem. Really just depends on where you spend it. But for budget, there's ways to determine an average that you should spend, and I'll go over that after this. Excuse me. But Google's going to recommend, this is really just not necessary. It just puts it based on your keywords that you put in. But what I usually recommend for any plastic surgeon in any market is $100 a day. It's just a great way to start, and you can adjust as you go, but $100 a day is what we usually recommend. So that comes out to the way to find out how much you're going to spend monthly is multiply your daily by 30.4. So we're going to multiply this times 30.4, and that'd be what we would spend monthly. The 0.4 is just average because how many months are in a year. Okay, now it's going to tell me I have to put in my URL and fix it. Yeah, it's going to tell me I have to put in my URL to my keywords, and I'm going to do that, but I will cut this here and then I'll go back once I fill this out. I just don't want to, this is my personal site, so I'm not going to put this in the video, but I'll cut here and I'll be back in just a second. Hey guys, I'm back. So I just filled out my URL, so now we can continue. So now we're just going to publish campaign. This was just for the first ad group and then setting up all the bids and stuff like that. What I first want to do is when you come in, you want to come here, just pause your ads, unless you actually filled out the complete one, but usually you just pause it just because your campaign's not fully built yet. So just so it doesn't spend the money and start popping up. So you pause this, and now this is where the fun part begins. There's a couple things that I like to do when I first start, and that's keyword research. So if you come up to tools and settings, yours is going to look different. I'm just a little more zoomed in right now, so it will pop up for you, but I'm going to come into planning, keyword planner, and we're going to get some keyword research. How much an average cost per click is for the specific keywords. And then just some solid keywords that we should be having in our campaigns, and then maybe some ones that we don't want. And I'll go over all that, negative keywords and then keywords. So there's two ways to do this. You can either start with a website, you can put your website in and it spits out keywords that would be for plastic surgeons, or you can just use a generic keyword and it will give relevant ones. This is what we always do. So I would use plastic surgeon, and let's get results. Now this is going to take you to the United States. What you kind of do is come here, enter in your spot. Now let's delete this. If you want to categorize them, you can come here and refine. You can take out brand names. So no brand names come here, but I'm just going to take a look at everything. So in account means we have them already in our ad groups. So all these that were already in there, it tells you average monthly searches, 3-month change. It's really low for plastic surgeon just because the search volume is very low. So a lot of things sometimes don't show or aren't exactly exact. So I would take this with a grain of salt, but it's just a good way to get an average. So these are your bids right here. This is what you're going to be spending for these clicks. And as you can see, more high intent ones cost more. So plastic surgeon near me, the highest is 12 compared to low one. So $2 right there, wasn't there? $3. Okay, that's the Korean plastic surgery. A lot of these are, I didn't take out brand names. So facelift. Okay, $376. Okay, so this one's a facelift surgery. So $372 compared to $12. That's an example. Now you won't always spend $12 if you want to be on top. However, that's just the average. So it's somewhere in between here, and you have to split test this. What we've seen best and what marketing on Google really is second and third spot is really where you want to be. The cost is a lot lower than first place, and the conversion rate is very good return on investment, second and third than compared to first, because first you have a really high conversion rate, but you just spend so much money. So we love being in the second and third, and we always split test this, but you want to be first on the first page, first, second, or third. If you're on the bottom of the page, there's a saying that the best place to hide a dead body is on the bottom page of Google. This is very true. If you're on the bottom of the page, the only traffic you're going to get are people are price shoppers. They go down all all the different companies, and they don't like them due to something, or there's a service that none of them offer, and they've called all of them, and then they go to you. So you're going to spend very low. Like this, you spend like $2.20, but it's just a waste because the leads are just so low intent, and even if you get them with plastic surgery, is such low search volume that you need to be on the top already just because of that. But these are good places to get good keywords to add to your ad groups. For example, if we were doing let's do a facelift. So facelift, these are good facelift keywords. Really depends on what services you offer. If you offer some non-invasive, you could add that. But that's just how you generate keywords. And you're always going to be split testing keywords. You're always going to be adding negatives. Some say after a couple months, and you want to take this with plastic surgeon keywords. They're very low search volume, so it takes a while, especially if you have a low budget, to gather enough data to make a reasonable decision if it is and should be a negative keyword. So after you get enough data and you can see that maybe that keyword isn't performing as well as it should be, you can come into negative keywords, and put it here. Now, with negative keywords, at first you want to start with broad ones, okay? So, and there's broad match, there's phrase match, and exact match, just as regular keywords have. But with the first ones we always start with are just broad and ones that we'll never want to target. So, for example, these are cheap, okay? These are free. You'd be surprised how many people search free. Affordable, low cost. These are price points. Another one is about information. You can get clients and conversions through information, such as if you have a blog and you have about keywords, and you send clients to that blog, and then they fill out the blog or they read the blog, and they're like, okay. But what we've seen is best is you don't convert as many clients as you would with just strictly intent keywords. Blogs are good for organic searches. And if you just want to if you have a nice website, you will get leads just through that because you have a blog and keywords. But we don't target any info based unless our client has a really nice blog on their website already. And even then we split test everything. But we just want to get the best cost per click for our customers. And what we usually do for our negative keyword list is about. It's just something that helps. But these are root keywords, so you don't obviously want to do cheap plastic surgeon. We just use cheap. Okay. Now that's keywords, negative keywords. And you can always add to these. You always want to optimize your campaign. That's what we always do. There's never just letting your campaign run or making it and then letting it run. There's always going to be testing, split testing, if you really want to get the most from your campaign. So that was keywords. What else is there? Insights, campaigns, ad groups is where you add your more ad groups. You want to have as many as possible to make it where it makes sense. So you would have all your services here with all your keywords underneath them. And then auction insights. This is when you have enough data, you can really see what your competitors are bidding, how much insight and search volume they're popping up for. But this really shows once you get enough data. So you actually have to be running. Ads, this is where you create your ads. Landing pages, I'm not going to go over landing pages. Audiences. Now settings. Sorry, Google is very slow. Settings, you're going to be able to change your bid strategy. You're going to adjust your budget. There's a lot of things you can do in your settings. Campaign settings. Right here. Account settings. And there's just a couple more things I want to go over. There actually is something in audiences I'd like to go over. You can really, once you start gathering data, you can test and see what is performing well with age, gender, and household. It's usually just a split. We never take off any genders or ages. It's really nice just to see this information. So then maybe in your next campaign or your next ad groups you build, or even the same ones that you have, you just adjust accordingly. Small adjustments make big changes with Google Ads. You just want to get as much as you can from Google Ads and from your budget as possible to the highest intent people that are searching. But that's demographics. There's devices as well. Devices is very important. So there's mobile, there's tablet, and then there is computer desktop. Mobile is 100% the best traffic regardless of the niche. But you really want to test is computers. So we never really take off computers. We downbid it and upbid it. But what that means is if you come right here, you can increase the chance that your ad shows to people that are on mobile or desktop or tablet. Tablet right away, we always do this. Everyone does this right away, agencies, is just decrease it. I don't know why they even have tablets on here. I don't know who uses tablets to search that much, but for some reason the conversion rates from tablets are very costly. They just don't. The traffic from tablets is very bad. So I recommend you downbid it 100%. So you just leave desktop and phones available. I think that was locations. Okay. Locations is where you can actually see how much clicks are coming from each place. So you can even take off places that are very costly. For example, say there is a very low income area and maybe they just don't have the money to afford your services. You could take that out, maybe because it's a lot of clicks and the average cost per click is a lot higher. Then the conversion rate's a lot higher or a lot lower, and your conversion cost is a lot higher. Just take it out. But once, like I said, you want to get enough data to where you can make this a very reasonable choice. You don't want to say after a week, okay? You want to do this monthly or bi-monthly. It's a lot of data gathering, and you want to be patient. You just don't want to waste search volume just because 1 week was bad, if that makes sense. But that's locations. You can exclude locations, ad schedules, devices. That's pretty much everything I think I wanted to go over. And then once you get everything done, then you can just come to your campaign and click set active, enable, and then you just start gathering data and optimize as you go. You can take keywords off, you can adjust devices, you can switch up your ad copy, you can switch up your landing pages. There's a lot of different things you can split test. You just always want to keep going, but you don't want to make it too quick. You want to give time for Google's algorithm to gather enough data and research that you can make reasonable decisions. But I hope this helped. If I can provide any more value to you guys, please let me know in the comments below if you'd like any more videos. If you would like my team to build out and manage a campaign just like this for you guys, we'd love to help and see if we can actually work with you. There will be a link below that you can fill out just to see if it will make sense for your business. We never try to push it on someone who it would not make sense for. If you're not making money, we're not making money. But anyways, I hope this video helped, and thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day.